I wanted to tell you something. Are you in a position to talk? It's really private and it's something that you need to sit down. So nafikiria ataniambia, I didn't know what was coming. So she told me that this guy and his family have deceived me. They've been lying to me. Nikamwambia, okay, go straight to the point. She told me that the guy is married. So I'm expecting that she would tell me that he's been married for 6 months, 3 months or so. Akaniambia he's been married for 10 years.
Ati?
For 10 years.
Hebu rudia hapo tena. Kuna mahali sijaelewa.
Jamaa, the guy is married. He's been married for 10 years.
You got a call from Ghana?
Yeah, from a lady. So I asked her, so how do you know this? She told me she knows because she's the wife. And I told her, so where have you been all this time? I mean, this guy has even posted.
All right, my good people, how are you doing? Nice and easy. It's your guy Wawero TV na tuko hapa kwenye mtaa moja eneo la Kitengela. Tunaweza kupiga story naye mada mmoja hapa kwa jina Angela Nzilani. Atakuwa anatueleza ni vipi. Tunakwambia ni single mom episode number 5. Na tunaweza kusikiza story nyingi tena zaidi. So stay tuned, tunaweza kuingia na yeye Angela Nzilani. Are you ready? Be ready for this. Utaenjoy. Mambo vipi Nzilani?
Poa sana.
Ukoaje?
Niko fiti kabisa.
Asante sana kwa muda wako.
Thank you very much. Yeah, nashukuru for the invitation to come and share my story.
Sure.
Yes.
Umekuaje?
I've been well, living positively and embracing life and enjoying it as I do it. And I must say that I'm a happy person. After what I have been through, I have healed, I have transformed because there was so much to be transformed, you know. Yeah, and I know that your viewers are ready to hear what is that you know that I needed to transform from.
Sure.
Yeah.
You guys should be ready for this sababu si story tu, ni story ambayo ina masomo, story ambayo unafaa pia kuisikiza. And that's why she transformed ama asha heal sasa hivi. So tunataka sikia hiyo story yake ilikuwa vipi sasa hiyo yenye amepona, ni story gani? Yani tukianza tu labda.
Tukianza, maybe I can introduce myself officially. My name is Angela Nzilani. I'm a life coach, a motivational speaker. My company is Angelique Achievers, and I help other people heal, both women and youth, to heal from their past pains, to heal from even when you're not feeling pain, sometimes you need things, you're going through things that you need to heal from. Kwa hivyo kazi yangu ndio hiyo sasa. Na ilitokea kwa sababu ya mambo nilipitia. Tuseme kutoka nikiwa mchanga. Although you might say that, okay, I grew up in a very good background, a Christian family. My my parents were teachers. I grew up well, humble background. But, you know, we are a sum total of what our caregivers put in us and what life has put in us. So mimi sasa after grow na go through issues, I realized that mambo mingi nimepitia ni kulingana na vile nili grow up. And I grew up, yes, in a good background, but I didn't have ile naweza sema self-esteem ama ile confidence in myself. Yeah, so I don't want to begin from too far behind. After growing up in the village, going to school in the village, nikaenda high school in the village, in another village in Kitui, and then I came to Nairobi, went to Strathmore for CPAs.
You went to?
Strathmore University, and I did nikafanya CPAs, and then I got a job na kampuni ingine ya Wahindi na huko industry area. Tulikuwa tunatengeneza vitu za mjengo na kuuza. And then nikiwa hapo, I liked talking to clients. Ile unaongelesha customer, unawapatia ideas about what they can do, what the materials they can buy for their houses and all that. And I really liked the connection with people. So I thought, I felt that maybe naweza fanya a degree in marketing. So I went to the university. I registered myself to the university. Nikaanza degree ya marketing. So when I had just started, I had also met some guy who we were dating for, we had dated for about a year. And immediately I got to the university, I also got into motherhood. So I got pregnant.
So was he a Kenyan?
Yeah, he was Kenyan. He's Kenyan, and he wasn't. We were not in a relationship that could lead into marriage. Let me not get too much into the detail. Yeah, but he was a guy that I could marry. So I got pregnant, and we continued being together for some time until I realized that it wasn't for me. That's not for me. So I embraced single motherhood, and I would go to school. I'm working, and I'm also doing my private business kando. So I started also engaging in construction business. So hii biashara ya mjengo sasa, when customers buy the materials, I would offer labor installation. So I registered a construction company. So nikaanzia hapo biashara polepole. In 2009, hapo, I quit my job and continued with my construction business, which did well until I even expanded to making greenhouses, installing greenhouses. So I would fabricate and then I install to clients. So unaona hapo sifanyi vibaya sana.
Vizuri, huko mbaya.
And I'm a single mother of my boy is growing. So now it got to a point now where as a single mother, you start feeling like mtoto anauliza dadi, mbona mami mi ndio sina dad? And even you as a human being, you craving for companionship. So I felt that this is the time I need to get a husband. I need to tone down my life. I used to be a very jumpy girl. I used to love fun. So Friday was furahi day for me. So Friday then was furahi day. I had to go out and looking for, people watu wa kuenda happy now na vitu kama hizo. So I thought, okay, fine, this is what I'm doing, but I need to tone down. So I started praying for a husband. And I think sometimes when you're praying, the devil listens too.
God listens too.
Yeah, God of course is listening. But anyway, I wouldn't call it the devil right now because of what I know now. So I met this guy who was a foreigner.
He was a foreigner.
Yeah, he was a foreigner. He was from Ghana. And I had been to Ghana before because I was also doing biashara ya kuuza vitenge and jewelry. So I would buy from Ghana na kuja nauza. So I had friends there who are really nice and very good friends of mine. They're still very good friends of mine up to today. So when I met this Ghanaian guy, I was like, oh, Ghanaians are good people. And then there's that thing about me that I like unique things. I like uniqueness. So I felt, oh, this one feels exotic, it feels different. I've been with Kenyan guys, they've let me down so many times. Let me try this one. Then he came to me with, he came to me with ile ni kama I'm ready for marriage. I'm not looking for a girlfriend. I'm looking for a wife. So almost immediately, we hit the road. We were dating. We were meeting every day. We would go out. He would come to my place. He was living in a small house, and he was living with his friends, his colleagues. He was in the football business, and this business was he takes footballers to, like an agent, so to other clubs, anawauza, anapata pesa yake and all that. So he had come with some that they had gone to Tanzania, so they came, and then they came to Kenya. Then after a few months after we had met, I remember we even went to Ethiopia to try on some of these clubs. And then because I could see he's living with other guys, I didn't like being in his place. So
he could come to your place.
it was easier for him to come to my place. And a few months down the line, A few months is like 3 months.
So kwa miezi tatu yani.
Miezi tatu jamaa amekuja sasa, ndio amekuja sasa kuishi na mimi. Unajua ile anatembea, lakini amekuja sasa na suitcase na atoki, ako tu tuko tu, tuko sawa tu.
Food ni wewe, rent ni wewe,
kila kitu ni mimi. Nao nilikuwa naishi nyumba kubwa. See, I told you I was doing construction. I was also doing greenhouse fabrication, and the business was doing well. So he moved in, and almost immediately we started looking for a baby. I even I got a miscarriage for the first pregnancy.
Ole.
And the way, thank you, the way the guy behaved, or the way he reacted after the loss of the baby, the first pregnancy, was like, for me, it was like, oh, he really wants family, because he really acted broken. So again, we went back again, and we're looking for another baby. So I got pregnant, and this one stayed. And we continued, you know, all that. So women him money, and he would come home. I remember one time he gave me 100,000, and I came to realize that this money came from a woman who had given him 200,000.
So ilitoka kwa mama hiyo pesa.
Yeah, and how he used to do it, I do not have an idea, because he never spent a day out, a night out. Days, yes, he would go and come back by 9 sharp. Mdomo tamu lile. And then I think he used also to prey on women who are single mothers. So time went by. We got broke. I got broke. He's totally broke, and now I know his games. So he's also afraid of cheating on me again, or going out asking women for money, because I told him if it happens again, I'm done. So I to make another woman cry and all that. So akaanza kuniambia, oh, I'm selling some property in Ghana. At that time, we were even talking with the mother, with the sisters. Real. Wacha ile ya uongo, ile.
Mamake, mzazi, sistake, nini, familia yani.
Yeah, the family members. And they are assuring us, yes, where they are getting us clients for that property in Ghana. And what is remaining ni yeye aende assign hizo ni documents, apate pesa. So we agreed yeye aende. So atafute ticket aende. So this time aendi nje sasa, aendi ataki kuhanya nini, of course kujifanya tu, lakini that's what I came to know later. So now being me, the woman who supports her husband, decided to offer to sell my car so that I buy him a ticket, and
ukauza gari lako mbaie ticket.
Nikauza gari, nikamnunulia ticket. Sasa hizo tulikuwa na rent arrears. We were paying that house at 25,000, and we had arrears. So some of the money went to paying for the arrears, shopping for the house, and paying for an extra month, and then for him to get a ticket and some shopping, actually, for him to go when he's going. So jamaa kaenda, nikabaki sasa na wale majamaa.
Sasa hiyo mmekaa kwa muda gani?
Tumekaa from around, that was 2014, from March to December is when he was leaving. So he left, and then we moved to a smaller house, a 2-bedroom house. These guys took 1 bedroom, and I took another, the other room with my son. So saizo, unaona, the baby belly is growing, and and I have this other baby, and these guys would call me mom. They would wash for me. They would tell me, hakuna haja kuita mtu wa kufua, nitafua, tutafua, just bring your clothes, we are going. They were so nice. They cook, they do everything. And they would give me space. So nakuja tu jioni saa ya kulala. So life went on like that. I stopped working. I stopped everything. I stopped even meeting my friends. Of course, my friends are even at that time, they are feeling like, hapa kuna, this guy is not right. Then somehow ile isolation, vile, the way you don't even know realize when somebody is isolating you from family and friends. Pole pole too, I've lost all these contacts, my family, my friends. I'm not spending time with them as I used to before. And I remember even before he left for Ghana, uh, we went to visit my parents. And I remember my father wasn't happy. He didn't like the guy. Yeah, so aliniambia tu
Akakuita kando tu.
he actually called me in his bedroom, something that I have never done in my adulthood, going inside his bedroom when he's there. So akaniita kwa bedroom yake na akaniambia sit down. That was like, like a father is telling you, my daughter, you need to listen. So I didn't pay attention to that. I just was like, mi ndio niko na yeye.
Ajui mimi ndo namjua.
Mi ndio ninaishi na yeye namjua. So we now he left and went to Ghana. He would send little money here and there. And then I'm staying with these boys. When I was like a few weeks to give birth, I told them, now you guys have to move out. You have your people. Now I can't stay with you. You come from places where there are families. Let them take care of you. I'm not going to do this anymore. And then I remember that time he's telling me that he's saved enough money for me to go to the hospital, which was a lie, because the day I went to the hospital, he didn't even have anything to send me, like even a deposit. And I had told him like a week to nitumie your pesa, I need to go pay book for for the hospital and all that. Akasema, oh, I'm sending, nimetuma. I'm going to the bank, there is nothing.
So alikuwa na brainwash.
Yeah, it was brainwashing. So I borrowed someone. I didn't have money. I borrowed a friend some money. I went, paid a deposit, nikaadmitiwa, nikazaa, stayed in the hospital for 3 days because it was CS. And then I remember I was discharged. And on the last day, bado hajatuma the balance. Now, the balance that I was supposed to pay after deducting your deposit. Jamaa hajatuma pesa. Niko tu nangojea. But he later sent. But it wasn't even enough. I still had to borrow my sister's. Tukajazilia, nikatoka hospitali, nikakuja nyumbani. At home niko peke yangu. I don't have a house girl, niko tu na mtoto. Sasa watoto wawili. Yeah. So, and then my brother offered to come and stay with me for just 2 nights. He was even married. He left his family and he's my elder brother. Imagine my elder brother ndiye ananishughulikia. So he came, we stayed those 2 days. Then later, because the wife was sick, later now the wife came with her children to stay with me for 2 weeks, at least until I get back. I heal kidogo, alafu nitafute house girl. So I did that, looked for a house girl. She came. I remember we stayed with her for just a month. I couldn't pay her, so I had to release her. So I'm struggling all this time. Now, when this girl left, I was like 2 months from the hospital. I'm not well healed. We were staying on second floor. Nafua nguo na napandisha 5th floor kwenda kuanika. So the struggles of your healing, the healing process, and it was really traumatizing. Then, of course, saa zingine anatuma kidogo, saa zingine hana, hivyo. So time went by and I told him that it seems that you're not able to feed us and all that. So akaniambia, no, because of the struggles, and here I have a house, why don't you guys come over? We plan that you guys come over.
Sasa uende Ghana.
Niende Ghana. So we agreed, ni sawa, nitaenda Ghana. And what he's going to do, yeye atume tickets, mimi nitafute passports. So for me to get passports, and na niko na watoto wadogo, I started selling my stuff. So I sold my house items. Unajua kama umenunua fridge 25,000 na unaiuza hata 5. So I sold most of the things that I could sell. And then I moved in with my sister. Some of them I gave out. I even called another lady. She owns a children's home. Nikamwambia kujia manguo. She came and carried so many things
Kwa
from
hiyo
my
sasa
house.
si unajua unaolewa Ghana sasa.
Mi najua naenda Ghana. I'm relocating to my house yenye imekosa client, so kwa nini tuuze na tuko na nyumba na tuna struggle na rent. So now we agreed twende Ghana. So nimetoa mtoto shule, tukaenda kukaa na my sister. I remember we even had a party, a farewell party, because amesema you're going to come next week, so natuma ticket. And bado ticket haijakuja. My parents came from the village, my aunties came, my friends came, cousins came, ananiletea gifts. We did prayers and kila mtu akadisappear. Nimebaki tu kwa ile nyumba ya my sister. Now we are waiting for the tickets. We waited. August, I had removed my kid from school from the August holiday. So the third term, mtoto hakuenda shule. So ikafika time mi ndo nam homeschool. Because now we did that, and I realized that at some point that this guy is never, every day we are talking, by the way. Tunaongea kila siku tu vizuri. Ananiambia, anani-update what he did that day and how things are and how they are turning out. Nikuwe patient. Next week went to, ilienda mpaka around November.
So hiyo ya kutuma ticket sasa.
Yeah, kutuma ticket tu anashinda tu kusema natuma. I've done a booking. Nimefanya hii. Excuses all the time. So it got to a point now. I told him it seems that wewe kukuja has been a problem. Us to come over is also a problem. For now, I'm done. I'm not coming. So I'm going to enroll my son to another school. I'm going to get to start working so that I get on my feet. So now I started talking to my friends. As a contractor, they knew my work. So somebody gave me interior design work. Ya kuweka tu curtains and paint work. And I got some little money and I moved. So moved to a different house and got my son to school. And I remember that December, a lady called me from Ghana. Akaniambia, am I talking to Mrs. So and so and so? I was like, yeah. I'm feeling nice. Somebody at least records me as Mrs. From Ghana. Akaniambia, I wanted to tell you something. Are you in a position to talk? It's really private and it's something that you need to sit down. So mi nafikiria ataniambia, I didn't know what was coming. So she told me that this guy and his family have deceived me. They've been lying to me. They've been, nikamwambia, okay, go straight to the point. She told me that the guy is married. So I'm expecting that she would tell me that he's been married for 6 months, 3 months or so. Akaniambia, he's been married for 10 years.
Ati?
For 10 years.
Hebu rudia hapo tena. Kuna mahali sijaelewa.
But jamaa, the guy is married. He's been married for 10 years.
You got a call from Ghana.
Yeah, from a lady. So I asked her, so how do you know this? She told me she knows because she's the wife. And I told her, so where have you been all this time? I mean, this guy has even posted my photos and my children photos on Facebook. And sa akaniambia kumuuliza, jamaa alimwambia ati I tricked him and slept with him for 1 day and got myself pregnant. Na sasa sitaki huyo mtoto, atamkujia. And my other son now is my younger brother.
Yeah?
So my other son is my younger brother, and I'm a daughter to his landlord when he was in Kenya. And so we talked. I told her to send me evidence because I don't believe her. She sent me photos from a wedding album. You know, the one you can know there's no photoshopping. Yeah, so she sent me those photos. So now I shared with him. And he was like, "Where did you get this? Block this number. This is Photoshop. It's a lie." And I was like, "Really?" So
So you asked the guy?
yeah, he was in denial. But later he said, "Yeah, it's true. But I wanted to tell you when we start living together." And I'm like, "Who does that? How do you tell me? You start telling me you're married after we live together. Where are we going to live? How?"
So you were married, or you were staying together with a guy who was married for 10 good years?
Yes, and I had no idea. I had no idea. So now it was about now for me now to start looking for how to get out of this. It was so confusing because initially even the wife would tell me, "Oh, I've left him. I'm divorcing him." Then this guy is telling me, "Oh, we are not together anymore, and I'm going to make it up to you." And lies after lies. And I would tell him, "Prove yourself by even supporting us," because he had even completely stopped supporting. I'm not able to. I'm not. Every day is like, "Send me this. Send me your account number. Send me your." It's like every day he's forgetting account number, or he's gone to the bank and maybe time he got there when time was the bank was closed, and or lies after lies after lies. And so now I realized that I cannot continue like this. I have to end this. So the wife told me that yeye amejiondoa, kama nataka bwana nichukue huyo. Lakini me, I was like, "No, this guy and the lies, apana." But it was still very confusing.
So alikulose na kaluzi wife yake mwenye aliona kwa harusi?
Yeah. Yeah. So, and then she told me that the guy lies about them because they don't have a child together. The lady was not able to have children. So then now when I asked the family members, like the mom and the sisters, they said we had to cover our brother.
So there is that time that you were video calling, you were talking to the sisters and the family. They did not tell you whether the guy was married?
No, nobody hinted anything. They were. I even told the mother, "You cannot be just a bunch of liars in one family," and she said I'm insulting her. So I said, "Oh, fine, it's the truth. You're liars. So what?"
So the whole family was full of liars?
Yeah. So hiyo ikaisha. Then now I started asking myself, now what next? And that time I'm struggling.
You have sold everything kwa nyumba, you have sold kila kitu, so umerudi tena upya.
Kuanza upya sasa ni where can I get naenda kwa hizi shops za plastics. You buy plastic cups, just tuvijiko kidogo, nini tumasani tuwili, tutatu, hivyo hivyo tu. And life continued. So I got my son at a school. He would go to school, si tuko tu nyumbani hapo. I got a house help, nikaanza kutoka, got some little money, nikaanza kuuza mashati za wanaume, hazinunuliwi. It was really a struggle. So one day I was in town and I started praying. The Bible says that the Bible says, teach your children in the right way, watakuja kurudia ile mambo umewafundisha waki grow up. So now I went back to my basics, the things that my parents taught me, the things that I learned in Sunday school. Like, why am I here? Asking myself such questions. Is it just to be a mother of these two boys? Two boys from two different fathers. Single mother of two boys from two different fathers. What kind of introduction is that,
Yeah.
Yeah, so I really felt that I need to find meaning, more meaning in my life. Not that the kids don't give me meaning. I love them to death. And sometimes I even wonder if this guy didn't come into my life, even if he came kama alikuja aje, kama angekuja kwa maisha yangu, ningekuwa nani bila huyu mtoto mdogo sasa. You see.
So dad alisemaje after sasa, juu dad kuna time alikuita kwa bedroom and then he had labda ile kukupa onyo kwamba huyu mtu sijampenda. What alisemaje baadaye yani?
Alikuwa disappointed and he died in 2016.
Pole.
And before, on his deathbed, before he died, he told my brother, ambia Angela, hiyo story ya Ghana ikufe, iishe. Hiyo story ya Ghana mimi sijaipeana baraka.
So sasa hiyo mlikuwa mshaachana, labda ndio dada before dada hapa?
Yeah, but we would talk. Anajua, alikuwa anajua tu, because me, you know me, I don't know how to lie. So when akiniuliza, so mtu wa Ghana anatusaidia, namwambia yeye, hata tuliongea jana akasema atatuma pesa, lakini ama tuliongea last week akasema atatuma pesa lakini hajatuma. So he would call every other time he wants to know about the baby. Sometimes I would send him photos. Sometimes we just argue on phone. Sometimes we insult each other. But I felt that I needed a different life. So I started seeking. And I even remember I talked to my friend who is a counselor, a psychologist, to help me get somebody who can counsel me for free because I don't even have money. And one day, luckily, I met a guy in town who was my former client in the construction sector. He's an architect and he's also a coach. So he invited me to one of his